Alright, here's my final iteration for my Far Cry 4 interactive narrative type game. So for this iteration, I filled in all of the storytelling elements here. So I have all this embedded narrative and we're making the place look lived in, essentially. So the camp has a lot of different sleeping bags and books and clothes and all that different stuff to show like they were, living here, as opposed to just having empty tents, of course. So stuff that's there just to facilitate that. I've tried to move some things around, make it look like it was almost like there was a fight here, kind of, sort of. I wasn't trying to make it seem like there was blood and stuff going everywhere, but I didn't want to make it seem like it was almost kind of abandoned or that it was a one-sided fight. So you have two here. These two here are just like the what do I call it, like the mining residential tents where they kind of sleep and stuff. Over here is the communication center, so I put a lot of like a bullhorn and then communication equipment here, and this is also the storage area for the tent. I showed a guy here like trying to access, the control panel before he died. Put some flags over here to symbolize the pagan men's territory, that he kind of runs this area here. I think I had this in last time, where you show the mining billboard knocking over the village sign to show that the miners came over and overran the village and forced them to go in here and mine stuff. As far as the caves is concerned, everything's the same. All the different routes are the same. That up there is the same. I believe I left this untouched as well. Most of that is all the same. But down here is where everything's different. Just about. I mean, the buildings are still the same, but I added in all the narrative for inside the building. So for this building, this was a family of 3. They got hit by the landslide. So what happens is that all the rocks and debris came in and knocked this stuff over. So there's a chair over here that fell over. There's a radio. I'm sure that's kind of how they passed their time. Other than that, I tried to make it seem like it was kind of plausible that somebody was living here. So I put food in places. You see that's relatively the same amount of food, so just all vegetables, and that's all they can really get. I put another one of these guys here to show that, that's what happened to them, they died. I go up here, and the framing elements here, you see they were worshiping something, the goddess here, so you turn there, see that, and you turn around and you have another picture of the goddess enshrined there, and then if you walk outside and look up, you see the goddess, and you see them, these other guys praying to them. So that's a pretty cool moment. You turn over here and you have another person looking at that stuff, kind of like awestruck. So it was a really good use of that praying moment I found last time. And if you go down here, you have this shop. It used to be a shop where like all the villagers come in and just buy all their stuff that they needed. But once Pagan Min's forces came in, he essentially said, I will provide for my people, and so he shut down the shop. And then on top of that, the shop had a landslide, so the people inside, essentially, they just completely lost their lives. And so inside, you see they became drunks. So there's a lot of different alcohol and stuff lying around. You see empty store shelves, and then if there are still store shelves, it's just the food that they ate for on a day-to-day basis, not actually stuff that they sold. So you see your empty shelf there. They took the bell off the door because they're not selling anything anymore. So they're not a shop. And to show that the shop is closed, I put the shop sign here, so you see that it was a shop, and then I put it on a flyer to show that they're not using the sign anymore, and the Pagan Min's there, and it's all taken over. And I put these 2 guys in here to show that's what happened to them, and they kind of died right there. Ideally, it's supposed to be a husband and wife, but I can't actually change the models for the villagers, so it's just like 2 dudes. I don't know. It's whatever. This one over here, I like this one a lot because this guy, I can keep him in midair. And I put a guy over here with a shotgun, and like he died. This is his last hoo-op where he died. He shot this dude, and then he just sat down there because this guy doesn't actually like fall over. Once they're dead, they just kind of like stay in space. So like he just kind of slumped over and died. Another thing, I didn't add any wildlife because I don't want the player to be fighting something. So I added in rats. Rats don't actually attack the player, but it helps that idea of them eating dead bodies and stuff like that. As far as interactive narrative or embedded narrative is concerned, this house kind of came as a pre-made, so all this stuff is kind of just in here. So whatever this guy was doing, it's whatever this house is. It's a little bit lazy, but they made it themselves, and it actually works from this location. So I'm just gonna let it go. Same for this location. This was a gambling house. This is where the townspeople kind of came to just kind of chill out. I put 2 people in here and have them dead. The rest of that is just gambling here. So you have all the different like themed carpets and stuff like that. And there's like different games around. I think probably somewhere. Let's say there is. Pretty sure there is. This one over here is there's like progression of wealth. So from down up there is like the wealthiest people, and then down here is the poor. So you start to get into like the smaller homes. Then you also start to see some of the way of life deteriorating. This guy just has like a mattress and a pillow, but no blankets. And then like they don't have electric lights anymore once you get further downhill. So they just have all these lamps. And then this house over here is like one of the worst ones. It's like really cluttered, really small. There's not even really a space for them to sleep. I couldn't even fit a light in here anymore. Thematically, that could work because maybe they're just that poor, but in actuality, I just ran out of light requirements or light limits, so that's kind of unfortunate. Here, I kept this the same. I think I moved the boat back a little bit just so that it makes a little bit more sense, because you wouldn't want to. Originally, it was like up over here, which didn't make a lot of sense for a boat. So, yeah. So, most part, added in the narrative, added in rats. Duplicated this, put some more cremation here, and I changed these models. They used to be like just a body cover, which is kind of something you do like really quickly to cover up a dead body, but that doesn't really fit for cremation. So I changed them with these, where it's like decorated to show that they kind of honor their dead and hold them to a higher power against this goddess. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna play it now, and I'm gonna stop talking because for the most part, once you get in this cave, it's just really loud. You can't really hear me. See if the audio's on, because I turn it down occasionally to be sure I can hear myself think. Yeah, we're good. Okay. You kind of see how the sound kind of guides the player, so they start out here and then hear it coming from the cave, and then come from behind them. If they do a 180 from where they were, they can go in here and see, like, what's this guy doing? It's their first taste of like something's not right here. All this stuff is abandoned. Like, did the people leave? What happened to them? And then you see, there are back dead people. And if you were to look closely in the fire, of course, you're going to see all these dead bodies. Communication area, and then the sound's going to guide you to the cave. And once you get near the sound, you're going to look at here and see, like, oh, there was the villagers taken over, and the mining company is kind of running things now. You get to the cave. Use the paths and the landmarks to guide the player down the hill. If I had more object space, I'd probably fill in some more of this area here, so it's not just running downhill. And here's a framing moment. The light kind of, since there's not a whole lot of light in this area, this kind of guides you here, and you get to look down and see, what's going on, and see a fire, see your objective over there. You see there was a landslide, and then you see, like, oh, okay, this is kind of sketchy, So then you start to go down this way, the only way you can go, because the lift is broken. And then this introduces you to the grapple mechanic should you need it. This is a safe way to check the mechanic, because you can just drop down here, go there, or you can really just detach and walk down the hill. But either way it goes, you're not really going to hurt yourself. And then so you don't hurt yourself anymore, you get down here your second time seeing it, so now you know how to grapple. And you go down the hill. Very disorientingly go down the hill. This stuck in there. Okay. That's interesting. Again, using light to guide the player. That color of light essentially means there's a grappling point nearby, because I use it there, there, and there. And it's specifically that lamp. And you get here into a framing moment, because you have to go past there, you have to land right there, so you're going to see all these dead bodies. You can see the second portal showing that the Taboo guys came from the cave there through the portal through here, straight out through where the dead bodies were, where they were worshiping their god. You know, where they see their salvation comes from is where their actually destruction comes from. But here, another framing moment, you can see this window here, and you see the guy in the window, you can see the destruction and the rats on the floor, and you're like, okay, before you even walk in this building, you know that there's something wrong here with this entire village that already sets it off. You walk in here and see all this in detail. See how these people lived. See how these people died. See how they enjoyed themselves. There was a kid living here, there's a smaller bed, there's a soccer ball. Go up here, see who they worshipped. See that everybody essentially worshipped this, including the people that killed them. See the lift there. You go down here, you see the burning shop. If you walk in through this door, you're immediately surprised by this. If you walk in through this door, you kind of see all the destruction, so no matter which way you come through, you got some good framing moments there. Walk out here, another framing moment from this angle. I think that's the only angle. I guess you can see it from this window, but walk in from the back. Yeah, it's about the same. So that's pretty good. You can't actually pick up this shotgun, just the ammo. Which is great, because I don't want to arm the player. I don't want the player to have any sort of thing to cling to. There's no actual danger here, but I don't want to give them I don't want to give them the peace of mind that they have something to defend themselves with. So you can see the community right here. I actually fixed this area. This area used to be like directly against the mountain, so you couldn't walk out the door, but I fixed that. It still it's a 90-degree turn. The flow's a little bit odd, but it's not completely stopped like it was before. Walk in here and just see the outright poverty of this guy living, kind of stretch his arms out and touch wall to wall. And then see this other one here. It's not too much better, but at least he has a light. And here's a stretch, which is maybe a little bit long, but it's alright. It's a nice winding down point for the player to realize, you know, it's over. It's all safe. And yeah, that's the level.